and create another video, and this one is for somebody like me who doesn't like weaving in those ends. I hate weaving in ends, and I'm going to tell you something now. On this particular make, I haven't even used a needle to weave in those ends. So I'm going to talk you through and show you hopefully how you can do the same. Now this isn't an original video. I have seen this somewhere else, hence why I'm showing you and putting it into our catalogue of how-tos. But this is just a fantastic way, and yeah, it's basically a really good way to weave in your ends. Now I do apologise, my dog isn't here with me. He's a husky, he's huge, and he's a heavy breather. It's not me. But the nice thing about this is this works for any stitch. Yes, any stitch. So if you're doing a weave as you go method, you generally do that on a closed granny square, so it makes it easy. So something like this, the closed granny square, I mean like a half treble. What am I talking about? And you can weave weave the ends in as you go. But what happens when you have open spaces? What then? What do you do? So that I should have figured out years ago, to be honest, but you know, hey ho. So basically you work this row at a time, and you weave in a row at a time, but you don't need a needle, and it's really secure. So there's a couple, I mean, I haven't done my housekeeping yet, which is cut off my little ends and bits and bobs, but generally all I've got is these little ends to cut off, but I haven't at all, other than my magic ring. Even here, look, it's completed, so they just need cutting off. Same with these, and same with this one here, and these ones, and that's it. And it's pretty much, I haven't got much to do, which is fantastic because there's a lot of colour changes on this. There's a lot of colour changes on this, so it does make a huge difference when you've got so many colour changes, because the last thing you want to do is not enjoy your colour changes because of all of the stitches you've got to do. So so yeah, so that's what I've done. So let me show you where we're at. So this again is the I'm working the second piece. This is a hexagon, and it's going to be a hexagonal cardigan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to you shortly when I finish the rows I need to, and I'm going to show you how to weave in these ends. So this is, I am literally working on this as we speak, so I'll come back to you shortly. Okay, so I am now back from my little pause, which you probably didn't even notice, and I am just finishing off. Let me just get myself into the right position. I'm just finishing off this last stitch, so let's just taking it through that loop and then that loop, and then just bring it together. So what happens now is just give yourself a nice reasonably lengthed tail. Let's just do a bit of housekeeping and get rid of that over there, and then you just slip stitch again and just pull it through, so it just gives it a nice neater edge, like so. Just making sure any struggles have been worked in, so I can put them off in a moment. This is the only one I'm probably a little bit worried about, because it's my bobble, so I probably will use a needle for that just in case. But in this case, before we work on the next row, or the next row of my hexagon cardigan, I am going to weave in, well, pull through, and then once you pull through this way, you do it in the opposite direction, like so. So if you were doing a granny square, this would be ideal. As in granny square, I mean granny square clusters, because you've got that open spaces between your stitches, so it's not great for you to weave in as you go, because obviously you can see it. But this way, by pulling it through the top of your stitch heads, because that's where you've ended your row, is even better, because once you bring in your next stitches, they will anchor around the loop, the hidden loop, the invisible loop as I say. Let's just bring it in a bit closer So you can see. Now this is the tricky bit, because you're going to go, oh yeah, okay, but now I'm at a corner. So you can do one or two things. You can slip stitch again, just anchor it into your corner like so, and then just either pull through whichever side it seems to be lying on naturally. For this it seems to be at the front. I'm going to pull through. I'm not going to pull tight. I'm going to make sure every stage I'm kind of just making sure that it's nice, and it doesn't have to be tight, put it that way. And then just, but if you do this between whenever you finish a colour, or you know you end your wool for any reason, this is a great way to work it. Now you can work a little bit of your wool, you can work it all the way through. To be honest, just to make sure that there is quite a bit worked in, I just work the whole tail like so, and just keep working that way. And honestly, this is going to save you some pain. So when you have flowers or things like that, this is a technique you can use without having to think, oh, you know, in some cases it might not work, but you know, I think in the majority of them it will. So you see that was tightening up a little bit. So again, just keep loosening it where you can. You don't have to use a smaller hook either, so you can just use the hook that you have. But this is also a great way where if you're on holiday, crochet on the go, which whatever, and you just need to weave those ends in. It just means you're not going to have so much work to do when you come home. Or if you've forgotten your needle, for instance, you can still do as much as you can to keep everything neat and tidy. So there you go. Let's bring it back over there, because I keep getting close to myself. So there we go. So you can leave it there if you want to, so you know where to cut. Again, just pull it a little bit just so you can, you know, so there you go. So that one can be cut there because it's nice and anchored in. That one can be cut. I tend to put it tight, pull it and then push back, and then that way it sits within it. I'm not going to do that one until I need to do that one. You don't cut your middle one until you, so in other words, your middle one, your magic ring one, you don't cut that, you sew that in. So there's only really two that you're going to have to sew in. Now can you imagine how many I'd have with all these different colours? So I'm going to replicate this bit again here so that it sits like so. So it'll sit, yeah, I don't trust that one. That's the only one I don't trust, but I don't mind if I've only got a couple to do. So it's not that big a deal. You can see that I have granny squares at the beginning here. Again, I can work those in. Cut that and just make sure it's all neat. So that's the colourway that I'm working on, and this is part of my add a bit. There we go. Bit of housekeeping. I hate the thought of my hook. I've lost too many hooks falling on the floor. So basically that's what we're looking at. So there you go. Sorry, I'm fiddling a bit. There you go. So you can see that. So that's what I'm going to work on. But that is going to save me some time, which anything that saves me time is brilliant. So there you go. So if you hate weaving in your ends, this is a perfect technique to use. Like I say, I saw it on a brief video on TikTok, I think. And I'm sure that it goes back to a designer called Made by Anita. She uses this technique in the granny squares. So again, like I say, this is not a method I have ingeniously come up with. This is probably a method that's been passed down, you know, from different ways of doing things, because we've got Norwegians that do things very different to us. We've got Americans that do things very different to us. We've got Spanish that do things very different to us. And there are numerous countries around the world that do things slightly different. But you know what? If you can cherry pick a bit here, a bit there, you can put that into all your makes. There's nothing's really original. So don't feel afraid of putting things together, because nothing belongs to anybody really. So so there you go. So this is my own design. Again, I'm just putting stitches together that have been invented by someone else, so who knows. But this is just the, oh, excuse me. This is just the body part and the arm, and I'm going to put some light lacing across that because it's going to be like a summer cardigan. I'm going to put extensions onto the arms. I'm going to put extensions onto the body where it needs to be, and then when I come to crochet them together, I'm going to do a crochet on the go here that will have like a filler, so it allows the waist to stay neat but at the back to expand out. So yeah, pretty much what I'm doing. I just fancied a nice bright cardigan to go with a nice white dress, you know, as you do. So yeah, that is pretty much everything there for you guys. So like I say, if you hate sewing, then this is probably the perfect video for you to use this technique. If you've seen it before, thumbs up. If you enjoy it, thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and have a pop over to our website and have a look at all our different blogs that we've got going on. We've got lots of things going on at the moment, and you also have all of our social media as well. So make sure you pop along, say hi, follow, share, spread the love. There you go, my lovelies. Anyway, if you hate sewing, this is the video for you. See you soon. Bye bye.